Hello students. So today we are going to discuss carbohydrates. Now as far as word to word meaning is concerned, carbohydrate means hydrates of carbon. But the technical view to see the carbohydrates is, remember, most of the carbohydrates are found to be optically active. So what carbohydrates are? These are optically active. Then polyhydroxyaldehydes. Polyhydroxyaldehydes. So remember, if any polyhydroxyaldehyde comes across, then that could be the carbohydrate or polyhydroxyketones or polyhydroxyketones can also be the carbohydrates or any substance which on hydrolysis give either polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone or both are said to be carbohydrates. So remember, if any substance come across and if you would hydrolyze that substance and upon hydrolysis, if that substance would give polyhydroxyketone or polyhydroxyaldehyde or both, then that substance can also be the carbohydrate. So, in short, carbohydrates are the optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones or the substances which on hydrolysis give either polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones. Now, number of examples of carbohydrates can be given. For example, starch, cellulose, glucose, fructose, sucrose, number. And remember, cellulose is the abundant carbohydrate we are having. Now remember, carbohydrates are classified on different means basis. So let's see the classification of carbohydrates. Now, first of all, on the basis of solubility and taste, on the basis of solubility and taste, carbohydrates are classified into two types. So very first variety which can be discussed on this basis is sugars. As name indicates, sugars are sweet, crystalline, and soluble in water. So remember what sugars are. These are sweet in taste, crystalline in appearance, and soluble in common solvents like water. Now remember, examples of sugars which can be given are glucose, then sucrose. These are finest examples of sugars. Now second class is non-sugars. Non-sugars. Now remember, non-sugars are tasteless. These are having no taste. Then amorphous, tasteless, amorphous, and either insoluble in common solvents like water or form colloidal suspension when we dissolve. Remember, are said to be non-sugar. So one can say that these are insoluble in common solvent, either insoluble or form colloidal suspension. Number one. Secondly, non-sugars possess properties typical of polymers. So remember, examples of non-sugars which can be given is cellulose, then starch. These are the non-sugars. So it was the classification on the basis of solubility, taste, and appearance. Besides this, then what about the chemical composition? So remember, on the basis of the product obtained after hydrolysis, I mean, when carbohydrates are hydrolyzed after hydrolysis, what will be the product of hydrolysis. On that basis, carbohydrates can be classified. So let's see classification on the basis of product obtained, product obtained on hydrolysis. So on account of this, carbohydrates can be categorized into three types. So very first type is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides. Now remember, monosaccharides are the basic units in carbohydrates. I mean, monosaccharides fail to undergo hydrolysis. So one can't hydrolyze the monosaccharides for sure. So if you are having monosaccharides and if you are trying to hydrolyze the monosaccharides, so no reaction can be seen. I mean, monosaccharides fail to undergo hydrolysis, and remember, these constitute the smaller units in carbohydrates. Secondly, the monosaccharides are further categorized or classified on the basis of the functional group in it. So remember, monosaccharides having aldehyde group as a functional group. I mean, those monosaccharides which contain aldehyde group are said to be aldoges. So remember, aldoges are the monosaccharides having aldehyde group as a functional group. And examples of aldoges, and I mean familiar example which can be given is of glucose. Now remember, aldoges are further classified on the basis of number of carbon atoms present as aldotrioses, aldotetroges, aldopentages, aldohexoses. Remember, glucose is aldohexose as it contains aldehyde group as well as 6 carbon atoms in it. Now, secondly, monosaccharides are classified. I mean, another type which can be given is ketoges. Now, remember, ketoges are the monosaccharides which consist of ketonic group as a functional group. And the best example of this is fructose. Remember, fructose is ketose. Now ketones are also further classified on the basis of number of carbon atoms as ketotrioses, ketotetroges, ketopentages, and ketohexoses. Remember, fructose is ketohexose. Now it was all about monosaccharide. Now next variety is the oligosaccharides. Second type is oligosaccharides. Now remember, oligo means few. Oligo means few. That is 2 to 10. So the carbohydrates which on hydrolysis give 2 to 10 monosaccharide molecules are said to be oligosaccharides. I mean, if you are having oligosaccharide and oligosaccharide when subjected for hydrolysis, now upon hydrolysis this give 2 to 10 monosaccharide units, 2 to 10 monosaccharide molecules. Now, examples of oligosaccharide are sucrose, maltose, lactose, raffinose, stachyose. Number of examples can be given. Now, further, on the basis of exact number, I mean, a given oligosaccharide gives how many monosaccharide molecules. On that basis, these are further categorized as disaccharides. Now remember, disaccharides are the oligosaccharides which on hydrolysis give 2 molecules of monosaccharides. So remember, if you are hydrolyzing disaccharide, and remember disaccharide upon hydrolysis prefer to give 2 molecules, 2 molecules of monosaccharides, 2 molecules of monosaccharides. Now, example of disaccharide that can be given is sucrose, then next to sucrose, maltose, cellobiose, etc. Number of examples can be given. Now, next to this, Trisaccharides. Trisaccharides are the oligosaccharides. I mean, if you are having trisaccharide and trisaccharide when subjected for hydrolysis, then we would expect three molecules, three molecules of monosaccharides from it. So remember, trisaccharides are the oligosaccharides which on hydrolysis give three molecules of monosaccharides. Now, examples of this variety is raffinose. Remember, raffinose is a trisaccharide. Now, next to this tetrasaccharide, tetrasaccharides ultimately give four molecules of monosaccharide upon hydrolysis. Example is stachiols. So, likewise, one can subclassify the oligosaccharides. Now, next to this, polysaccharides. Poly means many, I mean large number. So, remember, polysaccharides, as name indicates, are polymeric. So, if polysaccharides are hydrolyzed, then we would expect large number of monosaccharides. So let's discuss polysaccharides. So if at all you are provided a polysaccharide and if polysaccharide is subjected for hydrolysis, then upon hydrolysis, polysaccharide may give large number of monosaccharide molecules. Large number of monosaccharide molecules are obtained upon hydrolysis of polysaccharide. For example, starch. Remember, starch is polysaccharide, cellulose is polysaccharide as well. So all polysaccharides are polymeric in nature. Now remember, polysaccharides are further classified as homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. And remember, as name indicates, homopolysaccharides on hydrolysis give same type of monosaccharides, but in large number. And heteropolysaccharides prefer to undergo hydrolysis to give large number of monosaccharide molecules, but of different types. So this was the classification on the basis of product obtained on hydrolysis. Now remember, another way to bring about classification of carbohydrate is on the basis of reducing nature. On the basis of reducing nature. I mean, what will be the response of the carbohydrate when we allow carbohydrate to react with Tollens reagent, Fehling solution, etc. So on that basis, these can be of two types. So very first, reducing sugars. Reducing sugars. Now remember, reducing sugars are capable of reducing Tollens reagent and Fehling solution. So these can easily reduce the Tollens reagent and Fehling solution. I mean, these are capable of giving Tollens test and Fehling's test. Now, what makes reducing sugar to do so? Remember, if the functional group, I mean carbonyl group, whether it is aldehyde group or ketonic group, if it is free, then that sugar is capable of doing so. Now, remember, examples of reducing sugar are all monosaccharides. All monosaccharides are reducing sugars. And remember, those disaccharides in which the functional group is free, I mean it is not bonded or fused, then that can reduce for sure. For example, maltose can reduce, lactose can reduce the Fehling solution and Tollens reagent. Now, secondly, non-reducing sugars. Non-reducing sugar. So, as name indicate, the sugar which is not capable of reducing Tollens reagent or Fehling solution is said to be non-reducing. Now, best example of this variety is sucrose. Remember, sucrose is non-reducing. Now, question is, why sucrose failed to reduce Tollens reagent and Fehling solution? Remember, in case of sucrose, Functional groups are fused. I mean, they are not free. Thus, it is not capable of reducing Tollens reagent and Fehling solution. So remember, this was all about the classification of carbohydrates. Thank you very much.